Imagine a driver who not only wins races, but makes opponents look for a hiding place. Picture his rivals glancing at the mirrors, sweating bullets before the lights even go out. That driver is Max Verstappen. Today we'll pull back the curtain on his meteoric rise, dissect the techniques, and understand exactly why he's the one that keeps the rest of the grid awake at night. Oh, stick around till the end, because when we reveal the final psychological trigger, you'll see why F1 teams quietly dread hearing Verstappen on pole. Let's set the stage. By 2025, Max has accumulated more wins than many could dream of, more poles than rivals can pronounce, and a string of driving masterclasses that make other drivers ask themselves, why bother, according to recent stats. He's not just good, he's terrifyingly consistent. But how did he get here? Let's rewind. He didn't start as some mellow Sunday kart racer. No. Max began with aggression, hunger, and swagger. He grew up in a karting environment where the margin for error was zero. That attitude marched with him into F1. Early on, some saw him as a threat, others dismissed his youth. Fast forward a few years and here he is. Multiple world champion, record breaker, the one other drivers pray they don't have to battle with. His youth is no longer an excuse, it's a weapon. But let's talk technique. Step 1 of fear generation. He drives like he owns the car before he even gets in. While others are moving cautiously, Max is already planning corner exit throttle maps, tyre slip angles, and front-end grip strategy. In the 2025 season so far, he registered 7 poles and 13 podiums in 22 races. That's not just speed, that's dominance through precision. When you're that locked in, opponents see you as more than fast. They see you as inevitable. Remember the 2025 Italian Grand Prix at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza? Max took pole with a stunning 1 minute 18.792, a new lap record. That right there sends a shiver through the pit wall of every rival team. He's not just on the front row, he's rewriting the record books while you're still queuing for coffee. When the record exists for you to beat, and he breaks that record, fear starts creeping in. Then there's the racecraft. Qualify fast? Check. Maintain the pace? Check. Adapt on the fly? Double check. In Japan, he held his nerve at Suzuka while being hunted by 2 McLarens. In tricky conditions, on narrow track, where any mistake would be brutal. He didn't crack, he won. When other drivers see that, they begin to count their errors in fractions of seconds. Because with Max in front, they know the smallest misstep becomes a full-blown disaster. Here's a little humorous aside. Imagine you're an F1 driver. Lights go out. You glance in the mirror and there's this orange helmet slicing through like a shark in your waters. You smile thinking, I've got this. Then you remember you also have to deal with team radio prioritizing Max first, your tires gradually fading, your car occasionally catapulting you into gravel traps. You look down at your steering wheel like it's going to send you a text saying, good luck, pal. That's the sort of psychological edge Max brings. He doesn't just win races, he intimidates grids. One of his lesser discussed strengths is the front-end commitment. Many drivers aim to keep the rear stable, to avoid oversteer nightmares. Max? He flirts with it, he embraces it, he holds the front planted then just dares the rear to step out. That contrast gives him faster corner entries, more aggressive exits, and the feeling that the car is alive. Teams tell young drivers, don't push so hard. Max laughs. He doesn't follow advice. He sets new advice. Engineers at Red Bull Racing will tell you the car is built for him because he asked for extremes. His rivals can't even access those limits, which means when he hits the ceiling on performance, others are still digging through the floor. Now, humour me for a moment. Imagine the other drivers having a help meeting in the paddock. Someone raises their hand. What if we practice harder than Max? Another, what if we get a better car? Then a voice from the corner. What if we just don't qualify behind him? Silence. Because when Max qualifies in front, you already lost. His qualifying pace, 7 poles so far this season, builds fear before the first corner. When you're watching the grid lineup and you see the number 33 helmet ahead, you don't think, okay, good start. You think, great, we're doomed. But let's add another layer, tyre management under pressure. While he's known for aggression, you might expect him to trash his tyres. Nope. He knows exactly when to push and when to hold back. He blends speed with survival. That duality, breakneck pace plus measured control, forces rivals into a tricky position. Go all in and risk disaster, or stay cautious and lose anyway. Worse for them, they rarely have the luxury of choice when Max sits behind the pit wall calculating. Another anecdote: there was the Las Vegas Grand Prix in 2025, a rambunctious street circuit, big lights, risky atmosphere. Max took the win and closed the championship gap while his rivals were busy complaining about the lights and the glitter. Street circuits demand nerves of steel. He showed them nerves of carbon fibre. That win not only reduced the points gap, but also sent a message: I'm comfortable anywhere. And when you're comfortable in chaos, others are uncomfortable by default. Let's pause for a moment. Yes, I know, subscribe is cliche, but if you're watching this, you obviously love F1 and want the inside story that the big channels won't give you. So hit subscribe now. Come on, you know you want to. Drop a comment. What one moment made you think, okay, Max is scary good? I read them. Now back to the fear machine. What really places Max in the most feared category is championship-winning culture. Other teams scramble, second-year drivers nervously logging data, engineers whispering about future potential. Max doesn't wait for potential, he delivers. 4 straight world titles by 2024, and now hunting for a 5th. When you're in the paddock and someone mentions, "No driver has done that since," the echo hits you. He is the standard. You're not racing Max to win. You're trying to avoid the damage when he wins and you don't. Want a fun stat bomb? In 2025, through the mid-season, Max was responsible for approximately 96% of Red Bull's points haul. That's like being the only reliable player in your team and still complaining the bench warmers aren't pulling their weight. Only in his case, the bench warmers are also fast. Now, let's talk psychological warfare. On the radio, on the grid, in interviews, Max leaves trails. He doesn't brag much. He just acts. His posture, his calmness, his ability to deliver when the car is unstable. Opponents sense it. They don't just fear his speed, they fear his session-to-session dominance. You don't see him having bad weekends. Rarely. When you're rarely beaten, you instill dread. It's like playing chess and your opponent hasn't lost a game in years. You don't just try to win, you pray for a blunder. Let me throw in a little joke. If Max were a movie character, he'd be the villain who enters the lobby. The room falls silent, everyone checks their watches, and then orders more coffee, just in case. But we want him in our team, right? Right. Pause for dramatic effect. He's also not immune to setbacks. The 2025 season has shown Red Bull sometimes vulnerable. Tyres imperfect, rival teams closing in. But here's the kicker. He turns potential weakness into tactical strength. While others see issues, he sees opportunity. He doesn't freak out, he adapts. That adaptability is quietly terrifying. Because when you're the driver others assume is off it, and you still come out ahead, you become unstoppable in your own right. And this brings us to the final trigger, the one that makes him feared rather than just respected. It's not his speed, it's not his titles, it's that he makes you think you can win, and then makes you watch him win. In 2025, rival driver Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri sees their strategy, their tyre plan, their perfect weekend shatter because the pole, the fastest lap, the perfect exit show up anyway. In other words, Max doesn't just beat you, he beats your hope. And that's what turns respect into fear. So what should you take away? When you watch F1 now and you see the orange helmet, the number 33, the qualifying lights flashing green, you're watching more than a driver. You're watching the measurement by which all others will be judged. You're watching the guy who has already made his rivals feel like spectators. And that's why Max Verstappen is not just fast. He's the one you dread lining up against. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Max's domination, check out the next video on our channel. Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton. Who will rewrite history? Link is on screen now. Don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, yeah, I said it again, and drop your comment. Which moment made you think, that's it, Max owns F1? I'll read the best ones. Thanks for watching. Buckle up for the next one, because when Max hits the lights, you're no longer racing, you're surviving.